The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
For your
Fight the unseen wars in our minds and in our homes. Together.
All right, welcome back to Check Event Nation. I'm your host, Turbo, and today's mission hits close to home because we're diving into something that every single veteran I've ever met has dealt with, whether they've talked about it or not. It's that moment when the boots come off, the uniform goes on in the closet, the orders stop, and you look in the mirror and ask, who am I now? Now, if that's you, if you're asking that question right now, first off, you're not alone. When I left the Army, I had no idea what was waiting for me. I was a wheel vehicle mechanic. I deployed to Iraq. I followed orders. I stuck to the mission. That was the life I knew. And then it just ended. No formation, no exit strategy, just me out here in the civilian world trying to figure out what the hell my purpose was. And let me be real with you, I wasn't okay, at least not right away. You go from being part of something bigger than yourself, wearing a name tape that means something, to just being Mike. And let me tell you, being just Mike didn't feel like enough for a long time. And even now, I still have issues. I want you to think about this. Who are you without the rank? Without the MOS, the unit, the brotherhood, the routine? Because I'll be honest, I didn't know. I thought I was fine until one day I wasn't. I was 10 plus years out, married, with kids, working hard, and I still felt empty. Like I'd been dropped off in a foreign land with no map, no compass, and not a clue. And I know I'm not the only one. Let me paint the picture for you. It may sound familiar. You go to work, but it feels like a paycheck. People thank you for your service, but they don't really know what you've been through. You start to feel like your best days are behind you, like maybe your story peaked in your 20s. You hear that little voice in your head, the one that says, this isn't who I am. This isn't what I was made for. You start to feel invisible. But here's the truth no one tells you. That feeling isn't weakness. It's not failure. It's a signal, your soul trying to tell you something. You're not broken. You're in transition. And transitions are messy, but they're also powerful. Let me share something I read once that stuck with me. A snake doesn't shed its skin because it's broken. It sheds it because it's growing. And that's what we're doing. We're shedding the skin of who we were in the military so we can grow into who we're supposed to be next. But here's the kicker. No one gives you a blueprint. So what happens? We isolate. We numb out. We get short with our spouses. We avoid talking about it. We chase distractions. Some of us choose bottles. Some of us chase exits. But what if instead of running from that mirror, we faced it? And here's what helped me. Maybe it'll help you too. I started telling my story, not to impress anyone, but to process it. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. I stopped pretending I was fine because I wasn't, and neither are a lot of people you think have it together. I started helping others, even when I was still healing, because that's the purpose. That's service. You want to know who you are without the rank? You're still a leader. You're still a warrior. You're still needed, but you've got to let yourself evolve. You're not just a veteran. You're a builder. You're a protector. You're a mentor. You're a damn force of nature that made it back, and you made it back for a reason. And maybe, just maybe, that reason is still unfolding. So here's my ask for every brother and sister listening today. Take 5 minutes after this episode ends and sit with that question. Who am I now? And don't let the first answer be your last. Because if you keep showing up, you'll find that who you are now is exactly who someone else needs. Coming up next, we're going to talk about what service looks like when the uniform's off. Because the mission's not over. It's just changed shape. This is Check a Vet Nation. Stick with me. We're just getting started.
Restless heart, broken from the start. And you think that you must walk this path alone. Break away and love yourself today. You have to fight the bad thoughts in your mind. 'Cause you will find your better off alive. Don't give your life away. You, my friend, you're worth it in the end. Don't give it all away. Restless minds, pacing all the time, giving in to someone's point of view. And over time, when you step back from that line, you see you're not alone and we're all afraid. 'Cause you will find your better off alive. Don't give your life away. You, my friend, you're worth it in the end. Don't give it all away. And you will find your better off alive. Don't give your life away. And you, my friend, you're worth it in the end. Don't give it all away.
Love you, Daddy.
Love you too, girls.
Good night.
Welcome back to Check a Vet Nation. This is Turbo, and we're in segment 2 of today's episode, Why We Still Serve. If you're still with me, that means you felt that ache, that itch, that craving to matter again. And let me tell you something right now, right off the jump, you do matter. You're still serving. You might not have a patch on your shoulder or a uniform to put on every morning, but I promise you, the mission never ended. It just changed. Let me break it down the way I understand it. In the military, we had one kind of service. You had one job. Maybe you were a mechanic like I was. Maybe you were infantry, intel, comms, medic, whatever. It didn't matter. We had one common thread. We showed up. We served something bigger than ourselves. That thread doesn't disappear when you get your DD-214. It just shifts. Let me give you some examples. Some real life, boots on the ground kind of stuff. TMA. You heard her story on the show. She went through hell, misdiagnosed, carried trauma for almost 20 years. But now she puts on a bear costume and brings smiles to veterans at car shows. She uses motorsports to reach those who don't want to sit in the therapist office. She turned her pain into fuel. That's service. That's purpose. What you might not know about Tia is that she actually just partnered with my organization, Check a Vet, and we're going to be doing some great stuff together. Check her out on TikTok, Crazy Car Chick. She does a lot of awesome things in the drifting and motorsports world. And Michael Carmichael, he's our founder and CEO here at Check a Vet. Michael's not out here for applause. He's out here for the mission. He served over 20 years as a chief warrant officer in Special Forces. He saw too many friends lost to silence, saw too many vets falling through the cracks. So he built something, a movement, a platform for connection, a place for truth. And that's what I'm talking about. It's still serving, just in a different way. And maybe you're thinking, yeah, but I'm not building organizations or out there saving lives. Let me stop you right there. Service isn't always a grand gesture. It's not always a nonprofit or a podcast or a billboard. Sometimes service looks like holding space for another vet to cry, texting your battle buddy before the silence gets too loud, volunteering at the VFW. They do stuff all year long. From fish fries to egg hunts. Just everything, all kind of stuff. Showing up at your kid's soccer game when your dad never did. Sitting in your car, resisting the urge to disappear and choosing to stay. That's still service, and that's still purpose. You ever hear that old saying, if you're breathing, you still got work to do? I believe that with everything in me. Because listen, not all of us come back from war with the same wounds. Some carry scars on the outside. Some carry ghosts on the inside. Some carry stories we don't even talk about. But what if telling those stories is the mission now? What if your mess becomes someone else's message? I didn't start podcasting because I wanted to hear myself talk. I started because I was hurting and because I knew others were too. And I thought if I could reach just one person, if I could say one thing that made someone pull back from the edge, then it was worth it. That's service, that's purpose, and it's open to every single one of us. You might be sitting there thinking, all right, Turbo, I hear you, but I don't know where to start. Let me give you a few ways you can serve right now. No paperwork, no chain of command. Be a connector. You know a vet struggling? Connect them with a resource. You know somebody looking to hire? Refer a brother or sister who's got the skills. Be a listener. Sit down, shut up, and let someone else talk. Sometimes the best thing we can do is say nothing and just be there. Use your passion. Are you a musician? Then play. A writer? Write. You love building stuff? Then teach. Whatever lights you up, use it to help someone else find their fire again. We are not done. You think you ETS and the mission was over? Hell no. We're not just veterans. We're mentors. We're protectors. We're truth tellers, bridge builders, and we're hope dealers. You may not have a formation to fall into anymore, but you've still got a battle to fight and people who need you on the front lines of life. You still serve every time you refuse to give up. Every time you choose healing over hiding. Every time you call someone just to say, I got you. That's sacred work. Don't you dare downplay it. So here's what I want from you. Think about the way you're still serving. You may not have noticed it, but it's there. And if you know someone else who's quietly holding it down, tag them, text them, tell them you're still in the fight and you're making a difference. Because that acknowledgement, that check-in might be the exact thing that keeps them going. Coming up in segment 3, we're going to talk about how finding purpose isn't always pretty. Sometimes it starts at rock bottom. Sometimes it's born out of pain, but that doesn't make it any less real. This is Check a Vet Nation. Stay with me because someone out there needs to hear your story.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And the sign flashed out each morning, and the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, in tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence.
This is Czech Event Nation, and we're back with segment 3 of today's mission, Why We Still Serve. See, we love stories about redemption, about finding your purpose, rising from the ashes, doing something great after service. But here's what a lot of people don't say out loud. It's not always noble. It's not always clean. Sometimes your purpose is born in the ugliest, lowest moment of your life. And I know that because that's exactly where I found mine. 10 years after I got out of the Army, things got dark. I'd been carrying things I thought I had under control. I had a wife, kids, a job. I was functional. But behind the scenes, I was disconnected. I was angry. I was tired, not just physically, but that deep soul tired. And one night I had an argument with my wife. I don't even really remember what it was about, but I'll never forget what she said a few days later. I'm scared you're going to make the permanent decision for yourself and for me and the kids. So just think about for a second what she meant by that. And that's when it hit me. Not just the weight I'd been carrying, but how much of that weight I was dropping on everyone around me, especially those that were most important to me. You want to talk about purpose? My wife saved my life that night, and the VA saved my marriage. But even more than that, that moment, as painful as it was, cracked something open in me. That was the moment I realized maybe I went through this for a reason. Maybe the pain wasn't pointless. Maybe it could become something. Not right away, but in time. So I started showing up for therapy. I started doing the work. I didn't walk in like a proud soldier. I walked in like a broken man with nothing left to lose. Because honestly, I had nothing to lose. And that was a turning point. Not because I suddenly had answers, but because I finally admitted that I didn't. Your purpose doesn't have to be wrapped in a flag or forged in a business plan. Sometimes it's messy, it's emotional, it's unfinished. It looks like a vet sitting in a church basement saying, "I'm not okay." It looks like a mom raising kids on her own while grieving a spouse who never made it back. It looks like you, listening to this right now, still standing, still fighting, and still breathing. That's not weakness. That's resilience. That's the raw material of purpose. Have you ever met someone who said, "I wish I had a story like yours"? And if you're breathing, you've got a story. You don't have to almost lose everything to qualify. But if you've been there, then maybe that's why your voice carries weight. Because people trust real. People need to hear the dirt, not just the clean. I want to encourage you today, if you're in that dark place, don't wait for it to feel good to ask for help. And if you've climbed out of the pit, look around. Somebody is still there. And if you're in between, if you're healing but still hurting, good. That means you're human. Purpose doesn't wait until you've got it all figured out. It starts with a choice, a small one, a shaky one, a real one. I didn't wake up one day and say, "I'm going to start a podcast and help save veterans' lives." I woke up one day and said, "I can't keep pretending I'm okay." That one step became the road I'm still walking now. It's not always easy. I have my bad days. For example, I almost ended the show just last week, but I'm still here and I'm still doing this. You may think it has to be heroic. I think it just has to be honest. Pain becomes purpose the moment you share it. Shame loses power the moment it's named. And your story, especially the chapters you don't want to read out loud, might be the exact words someone else needs to hear. So don't wait to be perfect. Don't wait to be fixed. Just be real, be available, and be willing. Maybe that's the new kind of service. Not storming a building, but sitting across from someone who thinks they're alone and proving they're not. Not taking orders, but choosing love, choosing light, choosing life, even when it's hard. That's where purpose lives. So here's my ask for segment 3, Check It Vet Nation. What moment broke you and what came out of it? DM me, email me, Hell, send me a voicemail if you want. I want to hear your stories because if you've been through it, you have something the world needs. Coming up next in our final segment, we're going to take all of this, the pain, the purpose, the mission, and we're going to talk about how to turn it outward, how to go from healing to helping. This is Check a Vet Nation.
Let's go. The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate and segregate, don't celebrate quite yet. The storm is coming, cue for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country. And our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on the streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, chosen just neglected, deflected by some breaking news. Oh, we just accepted, expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objectives, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Nah, drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
Oh, one day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. Oh, we need you now. One day, one day, one day, the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
Welcome back, Warriors. This is Check Event Nation, and you made it to segment 4, the final leg of today's mission. If you've been with me this far, then you already know we lose our identity when the uniform comes off. We find service in unexpected places. Purpose can rise from the ashes of our darkest days. But now it's time to put boots on the ground, because all that healing, all that growth, all those lessons learned the hard way, it's not just for you. It's for someone else. Someone still stuck. Someone still silent. Someone who doesn't even know yet that you're going to be the one who saves them. So listen up, because these are your new mission orders. Order 1, be loud about the truth. We live in a world that still doesn't get us. They clap at the airport. They say thank you for your service, but they don't always see what happens afterwards. So it's on us to speak up, to educate, to advocate, to humanize. That means telling your story, not just the highlight reel, not just the medals, the nights you almost didn't make it, the moment someone else showed up for you, the time you reached out and felt like no one answered. That's the truth, and it's time the world heard it. Order number 2, build the team room where you are. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked on a vet who wasn't okay? When was the last time someone checked on you? We don't need permission to create community. We don't need a grant or a nonprofit logo to invite 3 buddies over for coffee and real talk. You can build a team room at a church, a gym, a damn garage. You can start a fire pit night, a poker group, a check-in text thread. You can make space where people are allowed to not be okay. That's leadership. That's action. That's still serving. Order 3, use your skills, every damn one of them. Listen, you were trained to adapt, to overcome, to solve problems under pressure. You've run convoy ops, led fire teams, fixed equipment in the worst conditions imaginable. So don't tell me you can't lead a community garden, coach a kids' wrestling team, start a small business, or help a struggling vet navigate the VA. Everything you've learned still matters. But it's time to point that skill set at a different battlefield. I know some of you are thinking, but Turbo, I'm still barely getting by. How am I supposed to help someone else? Let me tell you something right now, and I mean it. You don't need to be 100% healed to help. You don't need all the answers. You don't need a clean past. You just need to show up, be honest, raw, and willing. Because maybe the most powerful thing you can say to someone is me too. And I'm still here. That's all it takes. Order 4, stay in the fight. This right here is the one that breaks my heart the most. According to the VA, we lose 17 to 22 veterans a day to suicide. And as most of you that listen to this show know, that's not true. According to Operation Deep Dive, we actually lose about 2.3 times that number. So more around 44 a day. Every single one of them thought the fight was over. Thought no one would notice if they were gone. Thought their story did not matter anymore. We cannot let that stand. So here's what I want you to do. Tonight, after this episode, check on 3 people. Veterans, spouses, battle buddies, I don't care. Someone. Call them. Text them. Knock on their damn door if you have to. And just say, are you good? I'm here. No speeches, no solutions, just presence. That's how we win this war. Final order. Make your life the proof. You want to know the ultimate way to serve? Live. Live with purpose. Live with grit. Live so loudly that the darkness can't drown you. Let people see you love your family. Get help when you need it. Fall down and get back up again, so that they know it's possible too. Because if they see you do it, they just might try it for themselves. Look, I don't care what your rank was. I don't care how long you served. I don't care how far you fell afterwards. You're here. You made it. Your story isn't over. So here's your mission, warrior. Make it count. This has been Check a Vet Nation. Today we talked about why we still serve. And I hope deep in your gut you feel what I'm about to say. You are not a burden. You are a blessing. You are needed, and you still have work to do. If you're ready to take action, email me, message me, tag me, share this episode with someone who needs it. And if you're not ready, that's okay too. Just promise me you'll stay. You can email me at michael.turby@checkavet.org. You can find us on Facebook at Checkavet, TikTok, Instagram, all the other places. Checkavet 365. Turbo out. Maybe.
Dear mama, are you worried? Hey, I'm okay, yeah. Wish I could say I'm coming home today. We could be here for quite a long time. I hope this won't be like Vietnam. Pretty soon the tears will be raining down. And there's bloodshed on the ground. Baby,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.